Nyarji chimbo tsu denjing mi xiang song dim holam chimbo ngabja da bakar tarngang santo shirma do tumba tukji chanla kip xiak tsar. Good morning. First of all, I would like to say welcome to all of you to the teaching. And I am very happy to see everyone again. And I also happy to talk with you about practice meditation. And I also would like to say thank you to the Bodhicitta Sangha to all the help. This is the first class for the Sundays. And lots of people I know. So thank you. And I am also really happy to know that people are taking in interest in the teaching of the Buddha without necessarily being a Buddhist themselves. All these teachings and methods and forms of practice share a common goal of helping people to become good human beings and lead a sort of better life. That's all we need, I think. And then, of course, some people are really interested to become a Buddhist. That's also no problem. But the important is we need a good life, and we need to know how to take care of our life very meaningfully, I think. So the Sunday's teaching, the topic will be awakened mind. Okay. We had a retreat in Duluth about this awakened mind. So I think I will keep that topic. All Sundays teaching will be awakened mind. In order to develop the awakened mind, we must meditate. That's the only way we must meditate, because it cannot be cultivated just by sort of wishful thinking and some also prayers, you know. It cannot be cultivated, simply be receiving blessings from someone, you know. Maybe you remember that Buddha said that I can show you the liberation, but I cannot give you the liberation, you know. This is very important to know. And he also said that I can show you the liberation, but can't give. And you have to take the path and liberate yourself. So this means, I think, two things. The firstly, we have to take the sort of the responsibility for our life and the liberation, for the happiness, all of that. We are responsible. Buddha cannot give us that, you know, the first thing. And then secondly, we have the capacity, you know, we have the capacity to get the liberation. So that's why I think he said, you know, I show you the path, you know, but it depends, you know, us, you know, if we take the path and then will get liberation or a good human being. So, what I can tell you is that if you think of the practice meditation in a sort of relaxed way, slowly, and continuing to enjoy everything else, worldly, and then it's really difficult to achieve anything, because um, if we do that, our meditation and our life is kind of separate, So then it's difficult to change our mind and our life. So we have to meditate. Uh, and we always say that I'm going to practice, but we actually don't really do, It's there's a lazy and busy and everything like that. So that's why we are still here. So what is necessary? I always think we need to. I always hope we need to develop love and kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, the tolerant, patience, and satisfied. So these are we really have to sort of cultivate and develop in this very lifetime. It's really necessary. Otherwise, we will never, ever experience peace and happy mind, and especially the satisfaction, if we don't practice this. If you sort of don't do these meditations, then you are really mentally very lonely, I think, mentally very poor, and you're a very selfish person become, and you have no friends. So these are I think, the essence of our life. Practice again love and kindness, practice compassion, practice satisfaction. These are it's a necessary. I think it's a necessary in our life. Uh, uh, and these meditations are so important, really important. And these meditations take away our unhappiness, take away our worries, and unsatisfied, all of this. So these are very, very much, necessary in our life, and doesn't matter who you are. I can say that. We have to really focus on this. There are, especially Buddhist point of view, there are thousands of different meditations methods, right? But I think this kind of meditations we really need, especially this 21st century right now, this time. We have to practice this. They're not coming automatically, right? We have to meditate. We have to practice. Okay? If you are, for example, if you think about only yourself, right, and harm others, mentally, verbally, physically harm others, then you are very, we call Buddhist point of view, that's very selfish. Selfish person never, I can say, experience the peace of mind and happy mind. So if you really want lots of friends, and especially good friends, and then you have to practice love and kindness. You have to practice, bodhicitta. Okay, especially the satisfaction. That's the problem we have right now. We need lots of things. We never satisfied what we have. That's the problem. If we have that attitude, that that in your mind, even though you have millions of dollars, you are poor. You're mentally very poor. You want more. Okay, you want more and more. So what use? If you have that attitude, then you're never satisfied, and your mind never enough, and your mind never happy. So that's why I think this practice meditations are really common, and Buddhist and non-Buddhist doesn't matter. We can practice, and we can change our mind, and then become sort of happy person, and less stress. That's what we need. That's what we're looking for. But never, I think, give us we have lots of property and things, but in our mind no satisfied, then doesn't help. I mean, then the life is difficult, I think. And also we never know, tomorrow or the next life, which will come first. We have to think that. I think everything is impermanent. That's we have to think. There are no permanent things. If you understand impermanence, then easy to let go the attachment, anger, all of that. So I would like to teach you a little bit about the impermanence today. I'm sure you all know what is impermanent means, but it's very important to teach these kind of things over again and again. Then you will think, So when we talk about impermanence, they're very important. There are four endings. For example, the end of gathering is separation. That's the first. End of gathering is separation. For example, we all here together today, but end of this meeting, end of this teaching, we go, we separate. Never, we don't stay here together forever, That's another kind of impermanence, right? For example, our family, okay? Think about your family. One day father, one day mother, one day children, one day, husband, wife will pass away, one after another, maybe sometimes together, and your family, there is not, family remains forever. We wish, right? But it's impermanent. To think about the existence of past and future worlds, the countless generations of people who have passed away, right? And the future, the generations will follow them in the same way, and so this actually, if you think about these things, give us, for example, very good. For example, I had amazing teachers in Tibet, but they all passed away, unfortunately. So so sometimes I think about that things. Oh yeah, the life is very short, and we have to do something, right? At least make yourself comfortable, happy person. Very important. And, just like our lives are impermanent, everything in samsara is impermanent, you know. Everything changes moment by moment. But, it's a nature. It's a nature, right? It's a nature. So we don't need to worry that, right? It's nature. But we have to think this also. We have found a human birth and human, the precious human life. Uh, so we need to really, we need to realize how fortunate we are, you know. And we have all been fortunate enough to be born a place when the teachings knowing, and we have the capacity to understand the teachings and how to practice, and we know how to take care of our life and also help others, all of that. So if we want sort of an authentic practice, then it is absolutely necessary to be a human being. And not only to have a human body, but to have as good all of the conditions need to be able to hear, see, understand, and so on. So we need to use our lives uh, uh, very meaningfully, you know. Uh, think about how big this world is right now. I don't know exactly, but right now the people say there are almost 7 billion people on this planet. Of these 7 billion people, only I think only 500 million might be Buddhist. Think about this way, okay? Of people who say they're Buddhist, all of these 500 million people say, I am Buddhist. But I think maybe only 10% actually are very good practitioners. That's very small number. That's why sometimes I'm thinking, right now, this time, we don't have good teachers. Why? I don't know exactly why. When I think about when I was very young, like, in Tibet, for example, we had a great teachers. Now, almost like, my teachers there, when they passed away, like 70, 80 years old, right? So now that kind of generation, that kind of teacher now gone, almost none in Tibet. But I think sometimes we have these things, these, what do you call it, technology or all of this very easy to attach it to them, So that's why lots of people don't practice, I know lots of people understand, especially Buddhist philosophy or Buddhist science, or very well, lots of people know, lots of good teachers, but that's just, intellectual, not really inside. We have to prove inside, not look outwardly, right? Inwardly. So that's I'm saying, the good teacher means, of course, it's important to know how to teach and how to meditate and philosophy, all of this, but the most important is the mind. To realize the nature of everything and make sure to have these good qualities, compassionate, love and kindness, all of this, and make sure this diminish all of this negative thought. Then I call good teacher. If you know there are lots of things, but still you have, negative emotions, all of this, afflictions, then you're not a good teacher. I mean, how you take care of others. So, if you think about this number, then, the Buddha says that the number of virtuous people in the world is only as big as the amount of sand that can fit on your fingernail. The other people, like whole world, I think that makes sense because people don't practice, usually. I'm sorry, today I'm talking very negative, right? Yeah, but we have to, in order to prove ourselves, we have to think the negative way. I mean, I think it's very important, So if we practice Dharma or meditate and accomplish some virtue, then the latter part of this life will be happier than the earlier part. And we will continually find a sort of increasing amount of happiness. And if we want to have a positive effect, so we need to practice virtuous actions. Virtuous actions. In Tibetan, the translation of virtuous is any action which is helpful. That's what we call virtues. Any action, physically, mentally, verbally, any action which is very helpful for others, very helpful for yourself, that's what we call the virtues. On the other hand, if we use our life sort of badly, then the latter part of our life will suffer more than the earlier part. And we will sort of remain in samsara, and we will experience this, unhappiness, lots of worries, lots of stress, all of that we will experience. So it's up to us, The Buddha said that. It's definitely depends on you. You want a better life, better, human being, then you have to take the path and have to meditate. If you don't want, it's up to you. It's up to you. We are sort of the, the responsible, our life. No one. They cannot. I mean, I can, today, like for example, okay, if you say how to practice love and kindness, if you really want to take that meditation in your life, then I can show you. I can say, oh, you should practice this way, or body like this, your mind like this, then you have to, I can show you that, but I cannot give you this wisdom. I cannot give you this, the love and kindness. You are the responsible. You are the responsible. You have to take care of your mind, your life. And you can, you have that capacity. So it's really, we have to think, okay, most people here, 50, 60, 70, 30, we don't have much time. And so far, we have a very good life, I think, if you really recognize and you appreciate your life. I think we are very fortunate. Because, and Buddhism also said, to see what you have done before. Look at what you are now, And to see where you are going to be next, look at what you are doing now. So this is, I'm talking about the first, what is the end of Dipitamandar in Tibet. End of gathering is separation. We think include us, our family, everything we want forever. Why doesn't that way work? That doesn't work that way. And then the second end of accumulation is exhaustion. Remember this all the time. You have to, no matter how much you get or accumulate, you will lose them. Again, I'm talking negative, okay? But it's it's very impermanent, and that's the second. And then third, the end of height is fall down. No matter how high you reach, or no matter how high you own or you get, it doesn't remain forever. And then, of course, the end of birth is death. Whenever there is a birth, then death is only natural consequence. So I just mentioned earlier, our life is only, unfortunately, only gets shorter every month. Think about every month, every day, every minute. Our life is shorter and shorter. Is that true? Every month, every year, every minute. Never getting longer. Our life is shorter. We have to recognize that. So that's I mean by we don't have lots of time. But we still, spend all of our time hoping and worrying about our future. You see, the problem is there. As we always think about our future as if we were going to live forever. If, for example, if our life is permanent, then I think it is very necessary to have wealth, power, everything, if our life is permanent. But the life is impermanent, very clear. Life is very impermanent. Then what is use of having so many things? Really think about it. Think about, I'm sure you all have worries and stress. I know that. But where do they come from? What is the cause of your worries and this unhappiness? You're thinking future. I think. So, because life is impermanent, so sooner or later, we are going to lose everything that we own, we have. And when we lose something that we are so attached to them, what happened then? Then we suffer more. So we never satisfied with what we have. We always want something else. Try to get that. It's difficult. There are lots of obstacles. We are not successful that, then we are suffering. I mean, this is mentally how we think. If you satisfy what you have, then you're mentally very rich. You're happy. So usually when we talk about impermanence, there are two different impermanence. Because changes that when we see is the gross impermanent. We call it gross impermanent. For example, our physical body all the time changing, right? Think about from the baby, then, slowly getting old. Think about that way. But this change, we see the change, right? But this change don't change overnight. You see? For example, the color of your hair. Yesterday was black, but today suddenly white, become white. Never happened that. Think about that way. But it's changed the sort of subtle and momentary changing, we call it. So there are gross changing and impermanence, and then subtle impermanence. The subtle impermanence, constantly, momently changes. What we have problem is we can't see this subtle change. Then we have a problem. When you see your color is changed, your skin is changed, everything is changed, then this is big change, right? This is big change. We know that, we all know that, but we don't really sort of think and momently changing, right? If you understand this, I think you have less worry. Why you worry? It will change all the time. Sometimes, happy, but then change. Sometimes suffering, up and down, up and down. Everything is change. So we don't really see the momentary changing. That's what we call subtle impermanence. So we are making sort of the mistake of seeing everything in a permanent way, right? Think about this room, this space. Last year we used this space. We think same. Last year and today same. How could be? How same? It's momentarily changing, but we can't recognize that. Then we have a permanent idea, Then we attach. Oh, this is nice space. Oh, this I like this. It's changed. It's changed everything. If you really think this way, this is kind of Buddhist science, philosophy. If you really want to diminish, your attachment, you have to understand first these kind of things. Everything is changing. Why are you attached? Buddhist point of view, all the compounded phenomena have this kind of impermanent. That includes our human bodies and all the things outside ourselves, everything. There is none permanent, nothing permanent in this world. So if you understand this is true our life. This is true our world. This is the nature, So that's why samsara, always we say samsara is impermanent. As long as we remain in a samsara, we will continue to experience up and down, happy, unhappy. So what really happens in samsara is if we do not practice, especially the what do you call it? That contentment. Yes, to understand that contentment in Tibet, tsamba, it's so important. If you practice this, it takes away your unhappiness right away. Actually, really. If you really attach to something, oh, I want this, but I can't get. Your mind really unhappy become, right? But if you think about this contentment, oh, I have enough. I am no worry. Then, also the compassion mind, very important. All living beings really need compassion mind. So if we don't have this kind of good qualities in our mind, then we will naturally sort of harm others, and we actually run away from the true cause of the genuine happiness. So that is samsara means. Samsara means that which causes us to not to recognize the true nature of everything. That's what we call samsara. Or sometimes we call it ignorance, not knowing the reality. That's what we call ignorance. We know many things, but we really don't know the reality, the nature. We don't know that. That's what we call samsara or ignorance. So the ignorance is the cause of attachment and anger. So these three afflictions, a poison, make us suffer. So what is necessary is to realize that the time and the life is short, okay? Today you have to understand that. And then also the death is uncertain. We never know, right? We never know when we're going to die. We never know. So then, because of that, to realize that we should not attach to many things and practice this, the contentment, makes you really happy. If you want happy person, you should practice contentment with compassion. So we have lots of other sort of different the meditations, but I think we have to know what meditation. I mean, actually, very important to know is, when we meditate, actually, especially the according to Buddhism, we have so many different meditations because people are different, right? We need different meditation, different techniques. We need, because people, the personality is totally different. But you should choose one meditation you feel sort of more comfortable with, That's, I think, very important. You meditate this, you meditate that, and then eventually you get nothing, I mean, this is my idea, if you like. So you should choose one meditation that you're really comfortable with, and practice is constantly, every day. Not practice today, but tomorrow, and then not practice the other day, the next day practice. Not like that. Constantly, every day, practice. And that meditation, either for your sort of main practice or as a preliminary to the meditation, doesn't matter. So this is, I think, very important, because then you will feel more sort of stable, more relaxed, and more sort of able to enjoy with your meditation. I think that's very important. And also, when you meditate, you should be free of sort of expectation, be free of grasping, be free of attachment and free of unsatisfied, all of that. Just to meditate, just to meditate every day. don't really think about the result. I mean, the expectation. Sometimes if you think too much, expectation, then it makes also you sort of comfortable when you meditate. Just to meditate, okay? And then, of course, sometimes very important to investigate your meditation, It's a benefit or not. It's not benefit, you should change and try to find something else, But very important is just enjoy moment by moment with your meditation, with your life, everything, with your friend, with your property, everything. Just enjoy. Don't worry too much. Do you understand? Do you think it's really important? I think it's important. I mean, this contentment. I do practice on this contentment every day, and makes me very, very comfortable, relaxed, and no worries. I have no worries. So this is actually, I'm talking sort of on my own experience. Compassion, very important. Not just compassion, great compassion, very important. Love and kindness, very important. Do not misunderstand when I say diminish your attachment. You think, oh, I can't love my wife, I can't love my children. I'm not talking that. You have to understand what is different between attachment, love, and kindness. Totally different. Attachment makes you worry, makes you unhappy. Love and kindness, compassion makes you more sort of, happy and good for your friends, the society, the country, whole world. Very important. Okay, you want to practice meditation today? Yeah, okay. So, oops. First of all, that's okay. Thank you. That's kind of gross impermanent. It's changing momently, but I can't see it. Just suddenly happen. So when you practice, of course, first what we need correct our motivation. A good way to correct motivation is think and say to yourself, I am going to meditate so that all living beings will be free from unhappiness and satisfaction. Yeah? Am I correct? I think that's what we call great motivation, great intention, not only for yourself. It's very important. Once you this kind of motivation you establish, then you can do. Usually, what I do is after that I correct my motivation. It's not take lots of time, just maybe 1 second. I correct my motivation. After that, you can do a little bit practice and remember which enlightened beings inspires you the most, and consider that this being represent all of your teachers and masters, all of that. Think about that, and then think about this enlightened being, him or her, with a little bit sort of devotion, compassion, if you can. If you can't, that's okay. And after that, imagine this enlightened being sort of dissolving into you and your mind. Okay? It's not necessarily think about Buddha, Dharma, Sangha if you are not Buddhist. Whoever these enlightened beings inspires you the most, you should sort of think about the greatness, their love and kindness, So they're sort of, this is kind of a little bit visualization, right? Then imagine, this melting and sort of dissolving into your mind. And then you will see that your mind will be very peace and sort of relaxed if you do this. And then rest with this feeling or this experience for a few minutes without following past thoughts. Don't make sort of new thoughts or don't thinking about existing thoughts. Just to let go every thought, all these thoughts. Enjoy and then just relax just there. And if you can, look sort of deeply, look deeply into the peaceful mind and that experience. If you're a beginner, of course, this it's always, not really perfectly you can practice, but that's just fine. Nothing wrong because you are just a beginner. But if you are not beginner practitioner, then you will see this peacefulness and mindfulness and all of these things. Sometimes you feel the compassion, the love and kindness, all of that. We don't need to go deeper more that. We don't need to go, oh, what is the nature of mind? Oh, what is the emptiness, the union of the emptiness and the appearance? We don't have to go there. It's more complicated, right? So just to relax in that peace of mind. That's, I think, very important. Good foundation. And the point is that you can bring, if you do this kind of meditation, you can bring a sense of sort of clarity and relaxation into your experience. That's the point. The thoughts and the breath all exist only in this present moment. No past, no future, only this present moment. So you focus on like that, then you are experiencing the present moment. That's what we call mindfulness. Then you understand what you're doing, right or wrong. You do something cause that you're make unhappy or happy. So you will see that. And then you can change that cause if you have mindfulness. And then also, this also very good, when you breathe in, just to relax and feel this sort of the breath and the recognize the present moment. And when you, of course, breathe out, let your mind and breath dissolve in the space in front of you, and then simply relax in that empty space as much as you can. And then breathe, in naturally when your body is ready, and put your mind on the breath as you breathe in, relax in that space. And when you breathe out again, relax in that space. You have to do this so many times. And then, because then your mind will more stable, more relaxed, you will experience that. And meditation is not really meditating on something, rather it is sort of familiarizing yourself and with the nature of mind, with the nature of the reality, So this is very good foundation. So just today we'll do that, The purpose of whole meditation, practice meditation, is to help us, in our life. I think that's the only reason why we meditate. Why? So just to relax, okay? Well, now we're going to meditate for a few minutes. If you can, we can meditate on this like 15 minutes or 20 minutes. If you cannot, you can take a break and then go back to and concentrate your meditation. You can do that like many. You can take time, and so let's first we should meditate on 15 minutes. But do not worry if you can't really concentrate and all the time your thoughts arise, then kind of disturb your meditation. But you just don't worry. You should let go your thoughts and don't follow your thoughts. Then you will be fine. Okay? Do you understand? Just to relax 1 second with your body comfortable, and make sure your mind, bring back to the concentration or in your body. The most important is just to relax both your body and mind. And then another one is breathe in and out very naturally. And you can sort of breathe out, then you can pause for a while and then experience the empty space, or we call it the peace. And then breathe in. Do that. Thank you very much. Very good. $15, not really 15 minutes, but you experience this peacefulness, mindfulness, whatever you call it, emptiness, whatever. You experience at least like 2-3 times, maybe more than that. Maybe you can practice them like continually, maybe 1 minute without thoughts. Some can do this whole, maybe like 15 minutes without thoughts. Some people can, some people can't. That's okay. So the good thing is we try, and you should try this more and more. Thank you very much. And then we have the closing prayers. May I attain and easily realize the sublime virtues of existence and peace. May I pursue the flawless mindset of altruism, working for the welfare of others on a vast scale. Through this very merit of mine, may every single sentient being eliminate all forms of negativity and practice virtue forevermore. May the supreme practice Bodhicitta take birth where it has not arisen, where it has arisen, and never wane, but continue to grow forevermore. May I, in all loving lives, no matter where I am born, attain the seven qualities of upper realm of existence. May I meet the Dharma immediately after taking birth and have the freedom of practice. May I please the Sublime Gurus and day and night dedicate myself to the Dharma by realizing the Dharma and practicing its innermost essence. May I cross the ocean of conditioned existence in this life. May I teach the Sublime Dharma perfectly and never become weary and tired of benefiting others in the samsara.
By my own impartial and all-encompassing activities to benefit
Others may all attain enlightenment together. Thank you very much.